3 tries to the Blues in the first half. 1 right on half-time for the Maroons. Here's Mason. 9 metres out from the line.
Yeah, this is the area Bird and Gallen come into their own. Very dangerous, close to the line.
Hornby waiting and spins it away after a slow play the ball to Fitzgibbon. To Wallace, they're keeping depth in it. Bird, here's Gasnier on one hand. He turns it in, and Anthony Lafranchi has crossed for a maiden try in Origin. Andrew Johns celebrating with his team, as is Craig Bellamy, but we can't get the referee to celebrate just yet. They've gone upstairs to Bill Harrigan and Tim Mander.
It was beautifully set up off the Jonathan Thurston mistake. Come to the side, and this cutout pass coming up from Greg Bird after Wallace finds him is outstanding. Straight across the face of Lafranchi. It held the defence up and allowed Gasnier to get on the outside, and once he's on the outside, whoosh. And then the one-handed passes we've seen a couple of times tonight. Back into Anthony Lafranchi, 18th man for Australia. He's come off the bench tonight for New South Wales and got what we believe is, I believe is the match winner.
That's a beauty. This side has been very well coached. Very well played too by everyone who's taken part, but take your hat off to the man who has constructed this offence and got it working so nicely.
Well, we talked about it, the mistake from Jonathan Thurston. It would give the Blues the opportunity to shut it down, and one would have to think that's the way it's going to be. This will be one of the easier kicks for Fitzgibbon. It'll take them to 20 points to 4, and you would think a 16-point break will be enough with 12 to go. Lafranchi from the Titans, just the second player in a blue jumper for our youngest club. Having such a wow of a year is the club. It's been a roller coaster ride for Lafranchi this year, and his football has gone from one height to another, as has the Gold Coast Titans. Now, Fitzgibbon, the man who is just so happy to be a part of it. They started with him tonight. He's only got 1 so far, but he hasn't been the goal kicker all night, and he's missed it again. So, Matthew Johns on the sideline.
Look, Robs, just want to talk about young Peter Wallace. With 15 minutes to go, the game on the line, have a look at the composure. He kicks for a repeat set of 6. He kicks quality again. Now, doesn't get the repeat set, but he makes Queensland go 100, and in the next set, they come up with an error. Then he guides the ship for a try. Great work, Peter Wallace.
The Maroons, Matthew, coming over the top of you with apologies. They're not beat yet. That is for sure. Thaiday, long, Cameron Smith off his right foot. Good play by Hoffman. He came up with Bird and channeled them back in. Played by Cameron Smith, back for Sivan. A charge at the line. A metre short. The Penrith captain. Back for Marsh, and the pass, horrible. Out for Smith to scoop it up. Then it's away for Thurston. Oh, Billy Slater! How do you do? Anthony Quinn wrapped him up, embraced him, and put him away. Carl Webb taken by Wallace. Played back quickly. Marsh, Thurston, dummied, then kicked. Oh, beautiful play by Thurston. Not the end result, but not many people can do what he just did.
He's fired a few bullets tonight, Thurston. He's been on both sides of the field looking for something to inspire the Queenslanders. But the Blues defence, here's the short kickoff. God, they got some tricks this side. Managed to come up with a truthful hour. Speculator back on the inside. Inglis nearly scored from the kickoff. Unbelievable. But the Quinn and Cooper defensive combination on the left-hand side of the field has rattled the Queenslanders up tonight. They've been outstanding in defence.
They are the Houdinis of rugby league. Any team that wears a maroon jumper, we've sat through it and watched it. unfold over the years. You can't count anything until the fat lady sings.
Just on Matt Cooper, who played the football there, he's been outstanding in defence and had more touches tonight with the football than he's had, well, I think, in club level. I think he's been the best player in the field. And Slater, first bounce, head centre field, and look at the chase again, led by Gallen.
Gallen wrapping him up. Here's Israel Folau taking it out beyond the 30-metre line. Played it there. And the wizard sign. They've been a great supporter of the Blues over a long period of time. To the 40-metre line and played by Carmichael Hunt. Cameron Smith, a face pass over for Carl Webb. And coming in late, and he could have been penalised for a flop. In fact, he should have been. Mason Smith had Sivanasiva with him, got it to Thurston. Now Cooper has channeled in, and 6 more tackles touched over there. And it's with Justin Hodges. Hodges to play the ball then, just inside the Blues 40-metre line. Thurston goes short for Sivanasiva, back towards middle ground. Tackled by Gallen, working overtime is Paul Gallen. And now it's Dallas Johnson who's tackled. 30 metres out, right in the centre of the ground, running towards the northern end of the Olympic Stadium. Thurston throws the kick at them this time, and Stewart goes across and bats it over the sideline.
Yeah, good football from both sides here. Nice kick from Thurston, deliberately for Justin Hodges. He was chasing just at the right time, and Brett Stewart, so quick, batted it over the sideline, taking no chances.
What's wrong with that crowd? Oh, just looking at this shot, Phil, take us through this.
Yeah, well, it's a speculator, isn't it? They're looking for something. They're trying to pull a rabbit out of their hat and get a quick one, but Stewart was awake to it. Look, Scott Prince has got to be in this Queensland side somewhere. Whether it's at half 5'8" or on the bench, they've desperately lacked a creative player tonight. They've missed Lockyer. Scott Prince has got to be the next best ball player.
Here's Slater putting something together with Hunt, and then Hodges. He spins away, he looks for the line, he'll make it. Can he get it down? No! That's a miraculous tackle.
Willie Mason.
It's Willie Mason who's bent him over late.
And he's pushed the ball out at the depth as well. That's why the penalty goes against him. Looks certain to score. Play on.
Here's Carl Webb with the ball. Flopping it down to Johnson. Johnson away for Thurston. Quick hands, Carmichael. Brent Tate for number 2. Corner post went, but I don't know who took it.
Well, he's going to have a look at the corner post. I think if there is a problem for Brent Tate, it may be the back half of the body. But again, he looks confident that he's got his second of the night. Offload from Carl Webb. Promoted it to the right-hand side through the hands. And then Webb coming at the post. Look at the back part of his body. No, his boot touches the line there.
No try. Sees that Hoffman underneath there. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. 18-4 in front. And Ryan Hoffman comes up with a Queensland play. They're the ones usually saving tries from nowhere.
An easy decision here for Bill Harrigan. The red marking on the boot clearly coming up on the white line.
So Queensland don't normally make mistakes with their selections. But they made a mistake tonight. The boys in the fuzzy blue here have had a great time. Hodges, this was a great effort by Mason over the top to lock the ball up and stop him from scoring. Pushed him back into the field of play. Now he was penalised there for stripping, which I don't think he should have been. He was in the act of trying to score a try. And great work from Hoffman to save one in the corner. Tremendous Blues defence.
Wallace away for Bird, and Bird on the end of a corker of a tackle from Dallas Johnson. I said to you earlier, there's not much of him. I think he's 95 kilos, but I reckon he must have been eating bananas before he weighed in.
Well, he showed his toughness last year, Ray, in the final game. He was knocked out in the very first tackle of the game. Came back later and worked the joint down as always.
You're right. He's a tough little nut. Put a good shot in there, though. Here is Mason, and oh dear, somebody's gone in and taken him badly. It's Johnson, I think.
Oh, no.
I think it's Johnson. We've just been talking about what happened in that game last year, and the same things happened to him. He's lost his legs completely. Played by Gaznia. It's gone over to Wallace. Wallace got a kick in. The bounce is favourable for Tate. He comes back towards Slater and is chopped down by across.
Well, Johnson being aided for the foul. I do apologise.
Friday on the 40-metre line. And Johnson immediately out of there. Friday night will televise in Friday Night Football, the only game on. The Eagles of Manly will welcome home Brett Stewart. And they take on the Dragons with the Gasniers and the Coopers. And a knock-on has been found by Tony Archer. And there's Johnson up the tunnel. He got the knee of Willie Mason as he went in. Bang.
Johnson is off.
It's always dangerous when you're going head first to a man coming head on to you. Not a nice picture there.
Crowd today, 67,620. Well, I thought there were more than that here, but 67,620 is the attendance. 18-4 the score. 5 minutes of the game to go. And the Blues, like they did last year, were the first try scorers in this match tonight. They're going to go on and win it, but it was a hex, if anything, to be the first try scorer last year, because Queensland came away with the title. The start tonight of an endeavour for a three-peat by Queensland. 3 series back-to-back. They've done it twice in the 80s. A chance to do it here in the first decade of the new millennium. As Hunt is tackled just inside 30. Played back to Inglis. Then it is with Nate Miles, who came back on for Dallas Johnson. 5 tackles gone, Maroons. Cameron Smith to the blind side for Inglis. Runs away from Bird. Then gives it over to Thurston. Thurston puts a kick in as he's barreled. The ball comes down to Hodges. He puts a bat on it. And Jared Hayne went for a grab. Now it's with Tate. He puts in a kick. Came down to the Blues. Hoffman's got the ball. Rapid fire.
Do we have to wait 3 weeks to do this again? Can we play next week?
I think there's a few bodies out there who'll be quite happy that it's a 3-week break. They'll be in an ice bath for hours. Carmichael and Billy, that's for sure.
Cooper will play the ball now. 20 metres away from his own line. Here's Stewart. And Stewart out towards the 30-metre line. Taken down by Thaiday. It's appropriate that a match of this standard will be played on a day when the big boss of Rugby League is warning that we are in the grip of a financial drought and the game could suffer dearly unless a government looks at some of the taxes and what have you and the restrictions placed on the club movement. The clubs that had a charter to produce and promote rugby league at senior and junior level. Here is Tate with a bootlace tackle out there on the 30-metre line by Quinn. Gee, he's had a lovely game for a debutant. He's had a beauty. Now it's with Crocker, and he's 7 metres short of halfway. He'll play it back for Cameron Smith. Michael Crocker looking down the barrel of his first defeat since, when did you say, August 2005 or something?
August 2005, and that was a 1-point defeat.
So here it is with Thurston, cutting out Inglis, cutting out Thaiday, going to Israel. He puts in a kick, and it's cleaned up and batted away by Stewart. He is so safe, the Manly fullback. In fact, the 3 most recent Australian fullbacks on show here tonight. Stewart, Hunt and Slater. And the kid from Manly hasn't let the peninsula down. Hasn't let the state down. Same score as Game 3 last year, which meant little to New South Wales because Queensland had wrapped it up after 2. 3 peats, 4 of them have happened in the game. New South Wales a couple, Queensland a couple. Nobody's won 4 in a row. Slater drifting. He's been pursued by Gallen, but Gallen wasn't in the foot race. Now it's with Tate. Tate does a swerve and an arc, and he's tackled 10 away from the line. We're just under 2 minutes out, and it's back for 7 as Seaver shows the ball to Carl Webb, and the big fella with blue jumpers draped off him will play it 7 metres out from the line. Cameron Smith goes back for Thurston, goes back in for Hodges. He was going to ground, got it away. Hunt away, Folau scores. Surely that will be the last try of the night. A brilliant execution by the Maroons. A doubtful pass from Hodges that I'm happy about. Thurston great, and then Folau finishes it. And it should see us go to full time at least 18 points to 8.
We'll have an amazing record of scoring the final try in Origin matches. On this occasion, to no avail. Pass back inside. They actually had play on the outside. Thurston would have been better off just immediately going. And Hodges, realising he had to get rid of it, flings it out the back. Carmichael Hunt sums up the situation, and Israel Folau gets the big frame diving over in the corner, despite the attention of Jared Hayne. No problem at all.
I think he's been out of position tonight, Folau. I really do. I think he's much better on the right-hand side of the field. Carmichael Hunt's out of position for mine. Like I said earlier, it's very unlike Queensland to make those sort of errors, and they've got to get the thinking cap on for game 2 to see how they're going to make up the gap.
So I guess what we already knew is now in evidence. It is a try at the 79th minute for Queensland. They've scored tries at the very back end of both halves. Tate at the 40th minute, Folau at the 79th minute. And Thurston will attempt conversion from the T-junction at the 20. He's got this, a fancy, bringing it back, drawing it in. And Thurston converts to bring us to 18-10. With under a minute to play, Israel Folau, Rookie of the Year, set a Melbourne try-scoring record last year, won a premiership, became the youngest man ever to play Test football for Australia. Now on debut at Origin. Here's another debutant gets a try. That'll be 3 for the night. 3 for the night, and Quinn got 2, LaFranchi got 1, Folau got 1.
How often do you see it? Debut players coming in, having not only big games, but getting tries. As we count down the last seconds now, 19 seconds left in what has been a tremendous New South Wales victory, and food for thought for the Queensland selectors as they try to square the series in 3 weeks' time at Suncorp Stadium. There's the man who orchestrated it, Craig Bellamy. Wonderful job. The leading coach in the NRL. An outstanding debut for him at New South Wales Origin level.
Brett Stewart handles the ball for the last time in the game, takes it over the sideline, and New South Wales leads 1-0 in the 2008 battle for the Origin. An 18-10 victory.